Cold hands ruin a hunt faster than almost anything else. You can't feel your release, your trigger, or your call, and by the time you warm up, the moment's gone. I dug through real buyer feedback on 10 hunting gloves people are actually wearing in tree stands, ground blinds, and duck marshes right now, and ranked them by how many hunters have put them to the test. We're counting down from 10 to the most reviewed pair on the list, so stick around because the gloves at the top have review numbers that are honestly hard to believe. Starting the list at number 10, the Favuit camouflage hunting gloves are a budget-friendly, lightweight option built specifically for concealment over cold weather bulk. They're made from breathable polyester with a fingerless design on the thumb and index finger, so you can work a bow release, a trigger, or your phone without stripping the whole glove off. The palm uses a non-slip silicone mesh for grip on bows and gear, and the elastic wrist keeps them snug without a bulky cuff. Hunters using these have reported good things about the fit and concealment factor. One reviewer specifically picked this brand after seeing it recommended in a video for top hunting glove brands and found the fabric comfortable, if a touch tight on one hand compared to the other. Another buyer said the gloves worked great for holding a rifle steady while carrying it, praising the true-to-size fit. A hunter who lost their gloves in the field said it was an easy problem to solve given how affordable a replacement pair was. The recurring complaint across reviews is the Velcro tabs used to hold the fingertip flaps back. Multiple hunters found them scratchy, noisy, and prone to snagging on gear, ropes, and pockets while trying to move quietly. One buyer even cut them off with a razor because the sound and snagging were interfering with staying undetected. Warmth is also a mixed bag. These are described more as concealment gloves for cool mornings than true cold weather protection. With 746 reviews, the Favuit gloves earn their spot as a solid entry-level option, but they simply haven't been tested by as many hunters as anything else on this list. That's exactly why the next glove edges them out. It brings a similar lightweight, layering-friendly design, but with a bigger, more consistent base of reviewers backing it up, plus a feature set built specifically around pairing with heavier gloves in real cold. At number 9, the Mechanics Wear Coldwork base layer steps things up with a purpose-built design. A stretchy, soft-shell shell with a micro-fleece lining meant to be worn alone in mild cold or as a liner underneath heavier mittens once temperatures really drop. The touchscreen-capable thumb and index finger patches and a padlock silicone grip palm pattern give it an edge in dexterity over the Favuit, and the rollover cuff is designed to seal out wind and snow. This is where the hunting-specific feedback really shines. One bow hunter said the grip was excellent and that the low-profile fit let the glove knock off the chill without ruining the feel of the bow, though he modified the touchscreen seams with a lighter for comfort. He specifically called these must-haves for late-season hunting in Minnesota. Another hunter wearing them on patrol said they were warm enough for short pullovers around 20 degrees Fahrenheit and worked well underneath heavier tactical cold-weather gloves when he didn't need direct trigger access. A third reviewer confirmed comfortable performance down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit when paired with a hand warmer. Compared to the Favuit, these gloves benefit from 6 size options instead of a simple small/large split, which several reviewers specifically praised after struggling to find a proper fit elsewhere. The rubber grip does show wear on the thumb after repeated use for some buyers, and a couple of international reviewers noted they weren't water-resistant despite expectations. With 1,016 reviews, the Coldwork base layer has a meaningfully larger track record than the Favuit gloves, plus more sizing flexibility and stronger direct hunting testimonials. But the next glove on our list adds real insulation and waterproofing to the mix, something this base layer intentionally leaves out, and it's already earned even more trust from buyers working outside in genuinely brutal conditions. Number 8 brings us to the Carhartt men's gauntlet, and this is where waterproofing enters the conversation. Built with a wind-resistant camo fleece shell, a synthetic palm, and a DuraDry waterproof, windproof, breathable insert, this glove is designed to handle actual wet cold rather than just wind. The gauntlet cuff with an adjustable wrist strap and barrel lock closure seals out snow far more effectively than the base layer's rollover design, and polyfill insulation with a microfiber lining adds real warmth rather than relying on a thin liner. The hunting feedback here is strong and specific. One reviewer called it a hunter's dream, noting the balance between warmth and enough dexterity to still feel a call or a trigger. A goose hunter specifically praised the combination of legendary Carhartt durability with mitt-level warmth. Another hunter using them in upstate New York said they stayed warm and comfortable even in 0-degree conditions during cold weather hunts. A hunter with shorter fingers noted the sizing fit him better than competing brands that left excess material at the fingertips and confirmed the gloves kept him dry through hours of rain. Compared to the coldwork base layer, the gauntlet wins on genuine waterproofing and insulation, plus a more secure gauntlet-style cuff that keeps snow from working its way in during a long stand sit. The trade-off a few buyers mentioned is trapped moisture inside during heavy use, taking days to dry without a boot dryer, and the plastic lining being noisy for the first few wears. At 1,147 reviews, the Gauntlet edges ahead in trust and durability track record. But the next glove on this list swaps mitten flip convenience into the equation, plus it's already gathered nearly double the reviews, a sign that even more hunters have picked it as their go-to for genuinely freezing sights. Landing at number 7, the Mossy Oak lightweight camo hunting gloves take a completely different approach than the insulated Gauntlet E. This is a warm weather and early season glove built around a 90% polyester, 10% spandex 4-way stretch material with a tacky rubber palm for grip on a bow or gun. Where the Gauntlet is about locking out winter, the Mossy Oak glove is about staying cool, breathable, and nearly invisible to game during turkey, deer, and early big game seasons. The hunting-specific praise here is consistent. One turkey hunter said the touchscreen fingertips worked well on his phone and that he had no issues with trigger feel or dexterity during a spring hunt. Another hunter who wore them on 6 bow hunts over a season reported they held up well with only minor wear on the finger pads, kept hands comfortable to around 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and helped significantly with concealment during close deer encounters. A tree stand hunter specifically noted the gloves held their integrity, color, and grip after roughly 20 climbs in and out of a stand. Where this glove pulls ahead of the Gauntlet is versatility across camo patterns. Buyers can pick from breakup country, obsession, bottomland, and several vintage patterns depending on their terrain, something the single colorway Gauntlet doesn't offer. It also breathes far better for warm weather sites, which several hunters specifically valued. The obvious trade-off is warmth. Multiple reviewers were clear these are not winter gloves, with performance dropping off sharply below freezing. With 2,056 reviews, the Mossy Oak glove has earned a strong following, especially among early-season hunters. But the next glove up brings that same lightweight, flexible feel while pushing warmth further and holding nearly 1,000 more reviews behind it, a sign that a bigger, more demanding crowd of hunters is putting it to work. At number 6, the E-Amber camouflage hunting gloves close the gap. The Mossy Oak glove left open by adding a fleece layer while keeping the same fingerless, flexible design hunters want for calling and shooting. Made from soft polyester with thin fleece for warmth, this glove features a fingerless design on the thumb and index finger with Velcro tabs to secure the flaps, plus an anti-slip silicone mesh across the palm and fingers. The hunting testimonials lean heavily toward cold weather shooting performance. One competition bench rest shooter called them the perfect cold weather gloves for shooting competitions. Another reviewer said the flip-open fingers and thumb design worked well, but wished the Velcro closures were small magnets instead, and noted they fit true to size despite having thinner but longer fingers. A hunter feeding rounds into a shotgun during cold weather said the thin profile let him reload without the bulk that thicker gloves usually cause, though he noted they weren't fully waterproof. One especially detailed review from a hunter using a thermal scope for nighttime hunting said the grip and stock feel were excellent, though he wished the cuffs extended further to cover his wrist. Compared to the Mossy Oak glove, the E-Amber pair adds a genuine fleece layer for extra warmth while keeping a similarly light, dexterous feel. Buyers consistently mention using them comfortably between 28 degrees Fahrenheit and 60 degrees Fahrenheit, a wider range than the Mossy Oak's warm weather focus. The downside several reviewers flagged is that the fleece-lined branding oversold the actual amount of fleece present, with one detailed review calling it thinner than expected and not especially water-resistant. With 3,026 reviews, E-Amber has built a considerably larger following than the Mossy Oak gloves. But the next glove on our list is a Carhartt with an even bigger number behind it, a magnetic mitten flip design, and one detail that keeps showing up in hunter reviews. Family members loyally rebuying the same pair for years. Number 5 belongs to the Carhartt A557TS Flip-It glove, and this is where mitten-level warmth meets glove-level dexterity through a magnetic flip closure. The fleece shell with a synthetic polyurethane palm, reinforced thumb saddle, and elastic wrist gives hunters a mitten they can fold back into full finger access whenever they need precision, all held in place by small magnets rather than Velcro. The hunting community has clearly adopted this glove, and the reviews reflect years of repeat use. One buyer said the pair was recommended by a well-known bushcraft and survival instructor and bought one for every family member, praising the convenience of the magnetic flip and how warm hands stayed even in extended cold. Another reviewer described it as a goose hunter's dream, saying it delivers exactly what a hunter needs: warm hands until the moment you need the feel of a call or a weapon, while still offering the durability Carhartt is known for. A longtime user said they've kept a pair for over 5 years and still rely on them for work and play, appreciating that hand warmers fit inside the flip-flap for added heat on the coldest days. Compared to Eamber's thinner fleece layer, the Flippet's actual fleece shell and mitten construction provide noticeably more sustained warmth, and the magnetic closure system beats Velcro for quiet, snag-free operation in the field, a detail hunters specifically care about. The most common criticism is that the magnets holding the mitten flap can be too weak, letting the flap flop open with hand movement, and a few buyers noted the shell wears thin faster than they'd like for the price. At 3,782 reviews, the Flippet glove has built serious trust among repeat hunting buyers. But the next glove on this list moves away from fabric entirely into a nitrile-coated knit glove with a nearly perfect rating, a completely different category of grip and dexterity that's about to make its case. Number 4 is a shift in category: the MaxiFlex. Seamless knit nylon gloves trade fleece and camo for a seamless nylon lycra knit shell coated with a nitrile microfoam grip. This isn't a dedicated hunting glove in the traditional sense, but its 360-degree breathability, thin profile, and exceptional grip in dry and slightly wet conditions have made it a favorite for hunters who prioritize trigger and bow release feel above bulk or camo pattern. Reviewers consistently describe near second skin dexterity. One buyer detailed using the gloves for repair work involving stubborn planks and rusty nails, coming away with 0 tears and full finger sensitivity intact throughout. Another reviewer specifically recommended pairing these with a heavier winter glove for cold work, noting they don't insulate against cold on their own, but excel as a dexterity layer underneath something warmer, a strategy several hunters on this list have already praised for cold blinds and stands. A long-term buyer called them their go-to gloves for daily outdoor work, citing superior longevity compared to similar gloves they'd tried. Compared to the Flippet glove, the MaxiFlex pair sacrifices warmth entirely in exchange for grip precision and fingertip sensitivity that fabric mitten designs simply can't match. Useful for hunters who need absolute trigger or release feel above all else. It also holds an outstanding 4.8-star rating, the highest of any product on this list so far. The trade-off is clear from the reviews themselves. Without a warmer glove layered on top, these won't cut it in genuinely cold conditions. With 5,371 reviews and 2,000 plus bought in the past month, MaxiFlex has built serious momentum. But the next glove up nearly doubles that review count and brings knuckle protection into the mix, a completely different level of durability that's about to take over the top half of this list. Number 3 is the Kemomoto Tactical Gloves, and the review count jumps dramatically here. A sign this glove has crossed over from a niche pick into a mainstream favorite across hunting, motorcycle, and tactical communities alike. Reinforced with microfiber material for impact resistance, a hard-shell knuckle guard, and a double-layer synthetic leather palm with anti-slip mesh, this glove brings real protection that neither the MaxiFlex nor the Flippet glove offer. Multiple reviewers specifically speak to real-world protective performance. One buyer described locking up his front tire and sliding out at low speed, crediting the gloves, along with his helmet and jacket, for preventing any road rash or injury, and noted a scuffed heel spot was the only visible damage. Another reviewer who wears the gloves off-road said the soft, dexterous construction let him still feel the controls while riding, something bulkier protective gloves usually sacrifice. A reviewer who's owned 3 pairs called out the fingerless design and snug dexterity fit as reasons he keeps buying more. Compared to the MaxiFlex gloves, Kemomoto adds genuine impact protection via the hard-shell knuckle guard while still offering 3-finger touchscreen capability, a combination the more delicate MaxiFlex knit simply isn't built for. The recurring complaint across reviews is sizing running small, with several buyers recommending ordering a full size up, and a handful mentioned the wrist strap's metal clip rusting after months of use. With 9,259 reviews and 2,000 plus purchased in the past month, Kemomoto has built a massive, proven following. But the next glove up more than doubles that number again, and it's a dedicated ski and cold weather glove that's earned the title of bestseller in its entire category. A genuinely different level of validation is coming next. Number 2 is the Ihuan Winter Waterproof Ski Gloves, and while these are marketed for skiing and driving, cold weather hunters have adopted them heavily for their combination of true waterproofing, dense fleece lining, and sensitive touchscreen fingers. The waterproof fabric shell, adjustable windproof cuff, and anti-slip silicone palm are built for genuinely freezing, wet conditions rather than just cool mornings. The warmth-focused reviews here are extensive. One buyer said the gloves were absolutely comfortable for driving and outdoor activities, praising the surprisingly functional touchscreen compatibility across the entire glove surface rather than just designated fingertip patches. Another reviewer used them shoveling snow and driving in sub-zero weather and, despite initial skepticism, ended up raising their rating after real cold weather testing proved the fit stayed snug and the warmth held up. A buyer who took them to Yosemite and Kings Canyon during a snowstorm called them durable and reliable, confirming zero moisture leaked in throughout the trip. Compared to Kemomoto's tactical focused protection, the Ihuan glove wins decisively on raw cold and wet weather performance thanks to genuine waterproofing and thicker fleece insulation, making it a stronger choice for late-season stands in snow or rain. The consistent critique across reviews is sizing running small, with multiple buyers recommending going up a size, and a few noting the touchscreen function struggles once the material gets wet or thick with cold. With 11,613 reviews and over 1,000 purchased in the past month, Ihuan has proven itself across an enormous number of buyers. But the number one glove on this list isn't even close. It holds nearly 3 times as many reviews as this one, and it comes from a brand practically synonymous with rugged work and tactical gloves. Topping the list at number 1, the Mechanics Wear. Reinforced thumb and index finger stitching and a secure TPR wrist closure. And with over 33,000 reviews, it's not close to anything else on this list in terms of proven trust. The hunting and outdoor feedback spans years of real use. One longtime owner detailed using these specifically for shooting, praising the balance of grip and dexterity that let him control his firearm confidently even with sweaty hands, while also using the same pair for carpentry and camping tasks without issue. Another reviewer said the gloves work excellently for gardening, offering protection from small briars and thorns without sacrificing the fine dexterity needed for detailed work, noting a previous pair lasted 2 full years with regular washing. A reviewer who wears them for yard work, camping, shooting, and playing fetch with dogs called them the very best gloves he's owned, though he noted the fingertips wear faster than the rest of the glove. Compared to the Ihuan gloves, the Mechanics' original trades dedicated cold weather insulation for unmatched durability, tactile precision, and versatility across shooting, work, and general outdoor use, a trade-off that's clearly resonated with an enormous cross-section of buyers. The main critique across reviews is limited warmth in true winter conditions and some reports of seam durability issues after heavy, repeated use. With 33,497 reviews, a 4.7-star rating, and over 1,000 purchased in the past month, the Mechanics Wear Original Coyote Tactical Work Gloves are, by a wide margin, the most trusted and reviewed hunting-adjacent glove on this entire list, earning the top spot through sheer volume of proven, real-world satisfaction.